Hi all, and welcome to another episode of Let's Build a MMO with Atavism, our MMO creator engine that we have. So in this episode, we're going to cover reskinning the UI for the space MMO we started in the last episode. So let's get ready with that. So welcome to everybody that's going to be watching this. This is not going to be like some people might not find it as interesting, as we're going to be doing a lot of stuff over and over again. With UI reskinning, you basically do the same process the whole time. Uh, let's start off with, you guys will see we did upload on our forum post the next PDF document that you guys can start looking at. If you want to follow it directly with us now, you can go download it on the forum and have a look at that. So today we're gonna reskin the UI for the main world. We'll start off with that. So let me just open up the document for the lesson, then we can start. So reskinning to the UI, we're gonna use two packages for this. I got the NGUI packages, but you can also get them in UGUI, which makes it a little bit different of how we're doing it. But basically the only thing different is setting the images to sprites. So we start off with bringing in these packages. I already brought them in to this project, so you can see them here. Space D HUD and Space D NGUI. So they're already inside the package here. Also, I've already started doing some of the UI stuff so that I could test stuff in here. But I'll show you guys how I did some of it. So let's open up the main world that we have. This is where we're going to do our UI changes. So you open up the main world. First thing we do is we have to go to these different images. Because they're not textured images, on point 2, you open up these different images and we have to see which one we're going to be working with. So the textures we wanted to start off with is going to be located in the miscellaneous folder right here. Yeah, see, somebody just asked if we're going to be recording. Yeah, we will be recording this. This will be posted on the YouTube channel as another lessons for us. So we're opening up. Let me move that there. Go like this. There we go. Organize a few things here. So we're opening up the UI textures section. That's under space, texture, miscellaneous, and we're going to be changing the action bar that's at the bottom for the UI. So we go to the spell slots. These are the ones we use. So you can see already I've changed them to sprites already, but I'll quickly show you guys, like these for instance, or even these, any of these. You can see when you click on them, on the right they'll say editor, GUI and legacy. That's an old GUI system we use a UGUI right now. That's Unity. So when you click on them, you have to set them by a drop down to be a sprite, so it can be used by UGUI, and you just press apply. So that's with any type of texture type that you're gonna want to use in a UGUI system. You have to change them to be sprites, especially with Atavism's UI that we have. So I already went and changed these ones because these are the ones that I'm going to be using in this game system that we're working on. So the next thing we want to do after we've changed these ones, I didn't go through how to bring in the packages, but you'll see in the documentation when you bring in the packages, there's certain things that we don't want to bring in. So I told you guys which ones to untick, like to not bring them into the project because we don't need them, like scripts and stuff. They usually create errors and stuff. So now that we've done that, we're going to start by selecting the action bar. So you go down to the canvas. So your canvas holds all your UI. This is your canvas here. It makes a 2D UI over your game and stuff like that. So we start off opening up the canvas there. Then we double click on the action bar. Now when you double click on something, it zooms you to it. And if you use the right mouse button, you can move the camera around. And if you use the middle mouse button, it creates a hand and you can move it around like this. So you guys can see I already started doing the UI here, but I'll quickly go through the step by step how I got to this point. So you open up the action bar and the selection. Because we're not gonna, you'll see on the action bar you have an image. So if I click this to untick it, you'll see that's the default image that comes with Unity. I mean with Atavism UI. But for this game, we don't want to have a background on the action bar itself. So all I do is I untick it and it hides the action bar for us. The next thing we want to do is we want to change these action slots. So these are all your action slots that's hooked up in Atavism. So you select your action slot, like I did there, and you'll see here is your image. So I've done these ones already, but I'll just skip to this one here. So this is how it looks with Atavism's default UI. So you select that action slot there, and what we want to do is, it depends on what you guys want to do with your own UI, but this is just how I'm making this one right now. So we've got this image here, spell slot A, and where you have your source image, if you just drag the spell slot A in there, it'll change the image. You'll see it changed the image now to this one. And also what you do then is, because it's transparent how it was set up, we go here and we click it here and you change the alpha. That makes it non-transparent anymore. Now it's not transparent anymore. If you go on the game view, you can see it there. It's usually nice to go into the game scene to see how the UI layout's looking properly on the screen. This is how it's going to look in the game when you get to it, but not all these will show, because with Atavism a lot of these things get hidden and then just shows when it's called on. So that's how we change the action bar's little UI image. So the next thing we want to do is now this one I already done this, but you'll see the one in the Unity, I mean in the default Atavism, it's a little small. It's only this size. So what we did is I want to make the action bar bigger. So you can click on the action bar and you can change the width and height here. So I just changed it to 640 by 70 to give it a little bit more space. So that's just the area I'm working on. You don't always have to do that, but for us to just have a nice border to see where it is, we did that, right? Then I went on these slots. They were, if you see slot 9 and 10, you can see they're pretty small compared to these ones. Now they were this size also, because when I changed the action bar size, the slots stayed the same though. So I want to make these, they were 48 by 48, and I changed them to 60 by 60 so they're a little bit bigger, because they're a little bit small for my liking. Now, all this is dependable on what you want and what you like. So I changed it to that size, and obviously it's not positioned. Now with UI in UGI, you don't want to use the blue arrow, but if you're in the scene mode, you can use the yellow one to move left and right. You can use green to move up and down. So you can move your UI pretty much anywhere you want, right? But you're usually best to keep it in like a box that you've already created. That way it lines up and stuff like that. And there's other reasons too. If you look at your rectangle system here, it's got anchor points. So this box is anchored to this box's position. So this box is anchored to the center of the screen, and then this box is anchored from the left to this box. So that's why you use boxes, right, for anchoring positions and stuff like that. So if I move this around like this, for instance, because it's anchored to the left from it, it sets its position inside this box itself. So once you change the size, you just want to line them up a little bit better. So let's do this one too. Change this to 60 by 60. And then we just line it up as well. Let's go back to there. See, now they're all lined up nicely. Now you see these white boxes, that's like a transparent box here. That is your actual image size. If you look on the image here, you'll see it's got a bit of a transparent border around it, because this image, when it was created, it's got a shadow around it. That's why you do it like that for PNG. So always have to have a look if it's right on the edge or not. You'll see when we put in abilities and stuff from our Atavism editor, they will show up on this size, and later on we'll change it because it's prefabs that get switched over with these. So we'll make the prefabs, either change them to be smaller, or we will make this to be actually a background, so it won't change. So that way when the prefabs comes in, they actually fit inside here, because we want it to fit inside this box and not to the edge of this. So now looking at this, you'll see that our main box is a little bit too big. So let's change that. It won't be in the documentation, but we can change it a little bit more here. So the width, let's make it 620. Still too big. Let's make it 610. That looks like it's still too big a little bit. If I click on this slot here, yeah. So go to this, let's make it 605. And if I click on that one, there we go, that fits nicely. So now it will still be centered everywhere. So you go to game, that's nicely centered in the middle there. So the next thing we want to work on is going to be our, if you go up here, our character name. So you see I've already changed this, but I can run you through the setup how to do this quickly. It's basically the same setup as what any of these ones going to be, like the character portrait. Let me just, oh, wrong one. Close the action bar. So the character portrait is this one here. Then you have your target portrait, which is this one here. And then you have your grouping members, which will be the ones down here, right? So, because I already set this one up, the character portrait, I'll go quickly over it, but I'll set this one up right here to show you guys how I do it directly. So they're all the same principle, because they're all the same portraits. So we open up the character portrait. So there used to be, I'll just untick this, there used to be an image there, like this. There's an image there for the character. For this game, I'm not going to have a portrait image of the characters. I'm just going to have a name and their stats and ability, their statistics, like their health and their mana. Although we'll be calling this not mana in the game itself, but we'll call it energy usage. So that's your health and that's your mana bar. We don't want to change these names. We can just leave them. It doesn't matter because nobody else sees them except us when we're working on it. So like I said, let me work on, I'm going to do the target portrait. So what I did, what I'm doing here, I did exactly the same as the character portrait. So I start off by clicking the target portrait. And then I let's see. So we click on the character portrait here, the one here. That's a character image. We don't want that, so we hide that. Then we click on the character name. Now you'll see the font. This is the default look that Atavism comes with. But you'll see that with the, like I said, with this game, we're not going to be using it. So we hide the character image. The name, the font, we're going to change that. So it's easy to change fonts in UGUI. So you'll see here on the right hand side, if you click on it, it'll give you the font name, font type. So we select that, and I think we changed this to Caviar Dreams Bold. Now these fonts were brought in with this package that you brought in, the two asset packages for the UI from Evil. So we just double click that. So now it's changed the font there. You can see to that. I also don't like it being so thin, so I made it bold, made it a little bit bolder, right? And we changed the color. So if I just go here, you can see, you click on this and then you change the colors here to RGB. I put that in the documentation. But and also you change, yeah, we just changed the color. We changed the size to 16. But I'll show you guys a little trick. So if you set up one of these components, you can actually right click on a component and you say copy component, right? So now copy, this is the one I changed here, which is this character one here. Then I go back to this one here. Now instead of redoing every time the same thing, you just right click on this component and then you say paste component values. And now it's changed it to the same values as that one was there. Right? So the other thing is also, you'll see if we go to this one here. Oh, interesting. Canvas group. I don't know what that is there. But anyway, let's see. So we want to add this component, the outline, because this one has got an outline on it. So to get outlines, you can get different font styles and stuff you can get as components, right? You have to just look on the UGI list of them, but the outline is one of them. It gives you a font to outline, but there's different ones you can do, like a shadow and stuff like that. So if I put shadow, you'll see it's got like a little yellow box there. Oh, there we go. Somebody just asked it now. So I'm covering it already. So there's you can do shadow too and stuff like that. So if you type in shadow, it'll give you a shadow. You can just click on it and add the component, right? But so I added the component here for outline. Let's see. So I'll go to this one. I'll do add component again. So let's say outline, right? And click it. So now that component is added. So it gives it a bit of an outline there. But if you can also see it's got a you can either make it thicker or you can change the opacity of it and stuff like that. You can change the color, pretty much everything on it. Same with shadows and so on. So if we go to the game view, you can see it there, right? So the next thing we're going to want to do is we want to change the health bar. So with the health bar, you click on the health bar for this. You click the background. And once again, this is exactly the same way we did the main character too. So for the health bar, I decided to take, where is this? Oh, yeah. So go down, Unity bars. I'm going to use these images here, right? So you click on the health bar and you open it up, and so your background is this here of the bar, and then that's your bar that will be sliding is the full area. So if you click on that, the health bar background, then you just drag in. I use the Unity bar large, dragged it in. Now you won't see it here obviously because it's behind this now. So it's not sized right. So there's different ways to size bars and stuff in the game. If you click here, if it's stretched, it means it fills an area that you have there. And if it's not stretched, then it means you can set it to sizes, right? So, but this is stretched, right? So we can't set any sizes. You see, there's no size actually here. There's just left, top, and right. So these left, top, right, and bottom tells you the position of it stretching in this area, right? That it's set. So I'm not going to change that. But what I want to do is I want to make the background a little bit bigger than the bar itself, right? That's in the front. So to do that, I just change this to say 12, right? 12, oh, sorry, minus 12, all minus 12. Okay, so now you'll see it's a little bit bigger than this health bar here, right? So what it does, it's minus 12, so you have your size there. Then it tells the image to go 12 pixels to the left, to the top, and to the bottom, basically scaling outside the area where the sliding bar is. I mean, there's other ways to do it too, but this is an easy way for you guys to do using this one. So now that we've done that, we want to change the fill too. So you open up the fill here, you'll see, go to fill area, and then you click on the fill. So the fill is this inside that goes here. And for that one, I'm going to use this Unity bar small fill. So we drag that in, and that's it. So the fill is in there. So let's go here, see how it looks. Okay, that's good. So the next thing we want to do is we can change the text. So I want to change the text here. So once again, I can change the colors and all the stuff here, but it's so much effort, and because I've already done this here already, you can just copy it, but you can change the font here, you know, you can change the color. We changed the color, basically that's all we did, is just change the color so it shows up better than the gray. But I'm just gonna go here, open up this health bar, click on the text, and copy this component, and then go to this one now, and then paste values, and there you go. So now that's changed. Okay, and now let's do the same for the mana. So we click on the mana bar, you go down there. Like a lot of the stuff is like repetitive work. So doing UI reskinning becomes very boring. So we just drag in this one here again. We set this to minus 12. Minus 12. Minus 12. And minus 12. So it's also bigger now. And then we go and I open up the fill area. And I change this to this one here. And there you go. And then I paste the values here. Change it. So now you'll see this is all cramped. Everything is all cramped everywhere. So we want to space this out a bit. So first thing we want to do is I want to center this character centered to the left. So you can see this is centered to the left. I want to center it to the right because it doesn't really matter actually. I'll just do it centralized, right? So this alignment changes where, see, this is your font box or your character box where you're going to type names and stuff in. So it won't go, the name won't ever go past this area. You can make this box bigger or smaller. So the bigger you make it, the more space the name has to go in, but you don't want to make it too big either. So this is enough characters for this. And then you can align it. You want it to align left, right, top, center, bottom, middle, anywhere in this box area that you set it for to write, to put your type in. So I'm doing center on this one, right? And then I'm going to go and take the health bar and just move it down a little bit. And then I'm going to take the mana bar and move it down a little bit so it's just nicely lined up. And there you go. So those two are lined up with those two pretty much. Maybe a little bit more. Right. And then I want to go, now you see this one is centered to the left. I don't like that. So let's change that. I click that. I make center. Right, and then I use my eye to center the box into the UI, and there you go, that's centered. So same as I did on character portrait, I want to hide the level background. So let's hide that, because I don't know if we're going to use character levels in this game. I haven't decided yet what we want to do with that. And then I want to go. Now this got this white box. I don't want this box, so I click on the portrait, target portrait, and I just turn off that. So there we go. Now we've got the character name, his health, stats, everything in there. So that works perfect. So with this, you can actually, to make sure everything looks nice and works well and stuff like that, if you click on the main, say this bar, the health bar, for instance, these are the value is the stuff that Atavism changes. That's how you have the one working like this, right? So if you change the value, you can see it changes to that side, right? Because the character is from this side. So say we want to change it to go from left to right, rather, for instance. Then we just go here. Let me see now. So we have here right to left. Yeah, that's right. So let's change it from left to right. And there we go. Now, so you see that changed also where the position of this thing is. So let's move this back here. Like that. And let's do the same with this. And we move it right here. So now if you change the value, it goes like normal. Now this fill, you can also, if I can remember, so you also can do top, bottom, bottom to top. So if you have like a ball or something like that, some UIs have like a round ball and then like the health goes up and down. You're doing the same fill up and down or left or right or whatever. And you can also use a mask so it fills like a round area or stuff like that. But we're not doing that for this one. So if you go there we go, that's all set up nicely. And you might wonder, why is this one only so much health and why is it set like that? It's just because it's set on 50, so we can go max here. It doesn't matter what it starts with, because Atavism, what it does, it changes this value. So when it connects your player, it'll tell the health according to this value setting here. Like it'll change this value setting here. So okay, that's that there. So let's see how this looks in game. Actually, I just want to save this, and then let's go to scene, login, and then let's play. So I haven't tested it yet, so something might be wrong, but then we can try and figure it out. Yeah, cannot find. There we go. Sometimes it brings a little thing in like that. So I want to delete this character. Yes. Oops. These sliders aren't working yet. Let's go to mail, and that's all. Let's go to this one. Let's call him Daryl. Okay, let's create a new character and let's enter. So there we go. You can see our new UI. It's my health, 159 out of 170. I got my name up there. So the best is to do stuff and then play around. You might not like something. So this is where you see we have the prefab is bigger, or it's set to the change to the same size as that. So we'll change that a little bit later. But there's your action bars there, right? And so we've changed a little bit of UI there. And there's our character still in the scene here. The reason I'm doing the UI first now before we do the world and everything like that is so we want to copy this UI over to other scenes, and if we don't do as much as we can now, we're going to keep on copying stuff over and over and over. So that's the basics of UI. Pretty much you can move stuff around. So we have our we have all these character stuff here, and we don't want to have our buttons here or stuff like that. I'll show you guys quickly how to do this. This is not covered in the documentation, but it's all works on the same principle. So let's go back to the main world. Do you guys have any questions at the moment? If you have any questions, just let me know, and we can go over it. So I didn't put this in the documentation. Like I said, it's all like repetitive stuff. But let's say, for instance, we want to change our action buttons down here. So we want to change this. I don't like it being down here. I want to put it somewhere else. So let me see where I can put it. I want to put it in the top right hand, maybe, or maybe I'll put it underneath the character's UI. Maybe, I don't know. Let me see. So why? There we go. I wonder if I want to put it down there. Stats, all that, you can already do that. You just have to edit your, I'll quickly show you. So if you open up your editor, you go to option choices. So wait a minute, let me just make sure I understand what you're saying. Stats will be possible to set by ourselves, not by level. So how do you mean? You get stats every time you level up, your character levels up, you get a stat, or does it the skill level up and then you can get the ability? I'm not sure how the EP002 works with this. Or do you use points? Do you want to spend points on using it? Because there's different ways, and all those ways are all covered already. It's just you have to change your options. So you go into game settings, and then if you look here, these are all the game settings here. Right, so you can say you use skill purchase points. Skill points given, like each one of these are explained on the wiki. Oh, so you want to use points, stat points to change your stats instead of levels. So you can do that. So you can learn different abilities. Yeah, you just set it here in your game options. Use skill max, it's your skill max. I have to look for it now actually. Max level differences. Like all these can be changed to change to whatever system you want to use it. Like for instance, if you look at the UI is already set up to either use points for abilities to learn abilities, or you can use the character level. Each time you level up, you can learn abilities. Like you just have to change it here. Let me see if I can quickly find if respawn location, skill rating, skill, starting max. Okay. Interesting. I should be back. So let's see. Let's. I can't find it now. Like it's too much stuff to to look through. But like I say, you can just go to the wiki, and you should be able to see all these different ones. I wonder why it's battling to to send recordings through. No, these game settings are just for hours, but you should have a lot of them. Either they're in now or they're going to be in the next version. Like, so it can be done. Weird. Must be something going on. But anyway, yeah, that's where you set it. But it is possible to do it right with Atavism, so it can be done. So that's basically the UI. Like we can change all the other stuff here. I was saying, let me just get back to this rather. we can't answer questions on different things if we're not. We have to answer questions that's pertaining to UI rather. Otherwise, we'll be all over the show. Uh, uh, Seems like we're having some problem.